All right, it is Wednesday, 6:50 in the morning, October 25. Just getting started here. Just drew 2 measured legs down. And for anyone that might use my Apex discount code, they just announced it's on 90% until I think it's November 7th, 90% on the first month, 80% on recurring months. And just getting myself to wake up here, so I'll be back when we see a setup. Possible OJ here.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Took the break even +1. Oh, shouldn't have done it. Okay. I think it went 7 ticks, so I just wanted to protect myself. But looking at this here, entry was 31. Oh, only went 6 ticks. That's a bummer. I thought it went 7 ticks, so I wanted to protect. That's something I do. Okay, so that happened pretty fast, but I was actually expecting a second leg up there to here, and in this bar closing down that low created an OJ. And I thought when I entered, I thought the bottom had gone to 7 ticks. It actually only went to 6. So I put my stop order at break even +1 too early. Would have worked for my 6 or 8 tick scalp. That's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame that I dropped it just a little too quick. A little too quick on the safety net. All right, it's not a +8 tick. It's only +1. It would have been 8. All right, well, it worked again. I'm gonna give it another win here. Too bad I wasn't able to get the max profit from it, but that's the right idea anyway. Okay, so I updated the stats here. If I had just waited a beat longer, it would have come back and then gone back down. I would have got the full scalp, but we live and we learn. Right now, the most important thing is that as I'm documenting this on YouTube, that the setup worked. So again, it's my newest setup. I've only taken 5 trades with it. They've all won so far. I've only been taking it since last week. So again, just another confidence booster that it's a reliable setup. Let's see what else we get. I'm still thinking about this. I don't know if it was a mistake, mental error. Thinking it had already gone 7 ticks. That's kind of my rule, is when it goes 7 ticks, I try to protect my position. I was a little quick to the draw there. It had only gone 6 ticks. So it's been a tough week for me in terms of just making little mistakes here and there that, could add up to being big mistakes, especially when I'm getting this close to a payout. Like here, for instance, I would only need, I think, 1 more trade if I got the full scalp here to qualify for a payout. So it's a little frustrating. I don't know what's going on with me this week that I keep kind of doing things that are not quite right, and just kind of making some little mental errors and whatnot. So something I got to focus on. Like I said yesterday, you just got to be on point at all times, and a little quick to be protective, a little quick to protect against the loss, but at a cost. So just got to keep that in mind, and really important to not trade out of fear. So that's what I got to really focus on is, my setups are largely working. The numbers are supporting that. This is all recorded and documented on YouTube for the past 6 weeks, and the numbers don't lie. So it's like I have like some kind of disbelief still, but I've got to trust my setups and give them a little time to work. I mean, this is the next bar, and I'm already dropping the stop to protect it and not letting it work. So I think that's it. Time to move on, get it out of my head, and move on to the next.
Order
See if this is a
submitted.
possible OJ here. No.
Order
No,
canceled.
doesn't qualify. Looks like it would have worked though. 625. One more tick. But it didn't qualify, so it's not a setup regardless. Been going pretty sideways since my last trade. And no setups so far after that. Watching this. It might be a PB, but I think it's too early. I don't think it's all going to be there if it closes up here. Yeah, too early. Conditions aren't right. All right, I'll hang out, wait for something better. Even though it looks like this would have worked. Yeah, 8 ticks. But if anything, that's just a white setup subjective, so I can't take it. Watching this for possible, I was going to say possible PB again, but it's going the other way now. Still think it's possible for a PB up here. If we get a close up here, maybe. Looks like we're going down the other direction. Not going to be high enough. Okay, nothing here for me. I think I mentioned it the other day too, when it's just ranging in tight ranges, chop. Very few times will there be a trade for me with this system. I'll pause here and wait for something. Possible
Order
low
submitted.
here. If we get a bullish bar, not inside bar. Enter too late.
Order canceled.
I was just double checking everything. Enter too late. I was just making sure this wasn't an inside bar, and it was just one tick above here, so it made me pause. But that was a good setup. Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is I should have had this drawn, which would have given me a little bit more reason maybe, although it's pretty close here, so it doesn't seem like it gives enough room to get to the 8-tick scalp. But as you can see, the momentum carried it. Anyway, such a close call. Yeah, just at the very last split second when the bar closed, it closed one tick above this bar. It really looked like it was going to be an inside bar. All right, moving on. All right, there's a possibility for an OJ if it closes up here.
Order submitted.
Be ready just in case. Doesn't look like it's going that way right now. It needs to be up here. It doesn't have to be this bar. This can close down here and still come back up. Just gonna keep my eye on it. This is the thing about recording my live trades for YouTube, is just sometimes I just have to hit record even though it's not necessarily going to happen, because sometimes it happens so fast that by the time I'm hitting record and trying to take a trade, I can miss something or not see something clearly. So sometimes I just try to hit record a little early to be ready. This last OJ, I mean, I hit record like right at the last second. Barely was able to get in, and then, you know, making split decisions fast. So the whole recording for YouTube makes it a little trickier. And also the fact that I'm using two charts, my indicator being to the left and then having this chart for YouTube. Doesn't seem like we're looking to go up. It looks like we're looking to go down, which down here there might be a possible PB that could come up. So
Order canceled.
I'm going to take my order off for a minute, because it's possible we could have a PB down here somewhere coming up. We already made more than 2 legs up, so it's entirely possible, since it's such a down day, that we could be looking for something like this. Market definitely moving much slower now. than when I took this trade, or even when I missed this trade. I gotta say, I think the PB down here is looking much more likely than ending up becoming an OJ up here. Now that I said that, look at this. No OJ. I wonder if it closes up here now. Maybe that would give me an OJ. So let me
Order
get the buy
submitted.
order ready again, just in case. I'm not going to know until this bar closes whether it's going to qualify up here for an OJ or not. I'll try to be ready if it is. No. Doesn't qualify. If it goes down, it might be like that. Seems like to the downside is kind of over, but never know. All right, possible if it closes above, we'll get an OJ. I don't think it is. Getting ready for it just in case it closes higher. No OJ. No OJ here.
Order
Cancel that
canceled.
order. So just kind of in between, it's choppy. If it does turn down, there's definitely a possibility for a PB down here. If it goes up, I don't see any trades likely to come soon, except maybe an LO if it has a strong move up. So hard to say right now. I'll just pause here and wait for something. All right, so I guess we're going up. No setups at the moment. But I'm not even sure where we're going at this point. I suppose it could be something like this. Takes you a little bit back above the open. So I'll watch out for that. The only thing up here that might happen is an LO. But right now we're too far away. So let's see. Right, maybe a possible LO. No. Not bullish enough. Volatility starting to pick up. I'm definitely looking to retest the open. So it seems like. if this goes up here. Okay, going the other way. I'll pause until something sets up, it looks like, again. Let's see what this candle finish is like. All right, I'll pause here. All right, this looks like a new fourth setup that I've been kind of watching, so I'm curious to see what happens here. I would enter, if it goes 2 ticks above this green bar, I would enter 1 tick above it, is what I've been doing in my playback and testing it out. I'm not going to take it now because I haven't tested it enough yet. My stop would be under here. So it did go 2 ticks, so it would have triggered. So if this comes down under here, it would be a loser, which is why I'm not taking these yet, because I don't have enough data on them. I haven't tested them enough. It's just kind of an idea right now. It looks like it's, oh, let's see. This red line is the previous day low. So it's finding some support there, it looks like. Anyway, I'll pause it and come back and see what happens. All right, so if I took this experimental setup, it would have lost, which is why I can't take these, because it may not be a setup at all. And that's why I do a lot of back testing before I start taking anything on Apex. And that's why I only have, 3 setups. My whole strategy is based on 3 setups. It started with the LO, and then I developed the PB, and then after that, the OJ is the newest one. And I trust the PB and the OJ the most at this point right now. But LO is still looking pretty good overall. I thought it would be higher, but I'm also skipping a lot of them, so it's hard to say what it really should be. I feel like it should be higher. I just got to take more of them. I've gotten a little bit hesitant, like on this one. I could have definitely got in this trade, but just a little hesitant to make sure everything was good, and missed it. There might be maybe an OJ coming here.
Order submitted.
My order ready just in case. If it closes up here, it may qualify. Just getting my order ready just in case. Essentially, it just needs to close up around the top where the candle is right now. And I just got to make sure that my indicator gives me the green light for it, that everything's in place. Doesn't look like it's happening on this candle. It's definitely not one. Just waiting for this bar to close just in case. I don't think this will qualify now at this point. Let's see. No. No OJ here.
Order canceled.
Pause and see if something else comes up. All right, this is just chop fest, and it's kind of been a lot of that this morning. Make a move, chop, make a move, chop, make a move, chop. Kind of like yesterday, it was kind of like that too. I'm just going to take a little break and reset. I'll be back. All right, just got back. Looks like we weren't able to make the measured move. And looks like this, sometimes it's hard to know for sure in hindsight, but I think this was possibly a PB here that I missed. Hard to say for sure. It's possible it was just a white one. All right, pausing here. All right, quite a move up here. I wasn't expecting that. It still makes me kind of question, like, okay, maybe what I had before was right, because this is still lower here. So maybe this was a range, and this was a breakout, or maybe this is the range here. I don't know. This could have been a failed breakout to the low side to trap shorts just to go long. Hard to say. This would have been a white PB, except it didn't trigger. It only went one tick, not two. Actually, no, I take that back. It wouldn't even qualify as a white PB, now that I'm looking at it. All right, pausing. All right, yeah, I really don't know what's going on. It looks like we're headed back down. I'm just going to take this off. It seems like we tried multiple times and couldn't get there. Still not seeing any setups here. Very much looks like it could just be a range like this. So just have to be patient. I know that my strategy doesn't give many opportunities and ranges. So pause here, wait for something to happen. All right, market's dropping. I kind of figured maybe some kind of measured move like this, which it's already reaching right now. Getting a little bit more volatile, picking up the pace a little bit in these bars here. No setup yet, still just waiting. It's possible we'll get some kind of LO setup soon. The only thing I'm concerned about is whether this measured move matters. I think it probably doesn't. I don't know. Just something I was thinking about. But I don't want it to get me off of a trade if a good trade sets up. Let's see what happens in this area. I'll pause and we'll see if something comes up. Looking at a possible
Order
LO
submitted.
here. This finishes bearish, 2 ticks below that. Basically, this bar needs to be bearish, and then the next bar triggers 2 ticks below this bar. All right, not getting our bearish bar there.
Order canceled.
Thought that was definitely going to be one. We might get one just shortly after. The only thing that I'm kind of keeping in mind too is, if it is a range, something like that, we had a little failed breakout and now back into the range. But for my strategy, it really shouldn't matter. And if this is breaking out and breaking out again, then it really doesn't matter. So right now, this is another BT, so I'll be looking for
Order
another
submitted.
LO. So I believe a bear bar here. If it ticks 2 ticks below that, I could probably enter. It's going to be like a 10-point stop though. So I have to decide if it's worth it. Let's see what it looks like when this bar closes. Okay, again, just not a bearish bar.
Order canceled.
So can't consider taking a trade, even though this is the LO bar, but I want to see the follow through of a bearish momentum. The LO is a pure momentum trade. So if I don't see the momentum in the candle, then I can't consider taking it, whether it works or not. Pausing here. I just redrew the measured move that I had before, and we just reached it to the tick practically. So we'll see what happens here. Just another kind of strange day. Price action's very, very odd. Just staying patient, trying to wait for good gold objective setups. Still a little frustrated that this wasn't a full profit trade that I took earlier. Should have been. Just trying not to let it affect my decision making. Everything's still looking good. Stats are looking good. Accounts are looking good. Everything's headed in the right direction. There's really no reason for me to stress or force anything. So I just got to sit back and be patient and remind myself that just doing the best I can do. Trying to improve. The strategy is new. I go in and out of trusting it, I think, sometimes. Like here. It's definitely a trade. If I was in sim or playback, I would have, I'm sure, taken this without much thought. But when you're on the real Apex accounts, and you're trading 10 accounts at a time, hesitations and wanting to make sure you do everything right, not make a mistake. And if you get a great setup and you think it goes 7 ticks, you want to kind of put your insurance in and make sure you can't lose that trade at that point. And that's how I missed out on a full scalp there. So yeah, this game's hard. I think once you have the strategy that works, that's kind of maybe the easy part. There's so many strategies out there that work. But then it's, having your head right, making good decisions, executing properly, all those things that is just, depending on the day, you might do something different, or even depending on the moment, what you're feeling at the time. For instance, when I did take this trade at right around 7, I had only been up for 20 minutes. I get to the chart pretty quick after I wake up. I'd been at the chart for 10 minutes. And I think I was so tired. I really thought it went 7 ticks. It only went 6. I would have never moved my stop if it had only gone 6, and I recognize that. So it is what it is. It's challenging, but I'm enjoying the strategy. It's working way better for me than Pat's. The thing with Pat's is, you're always waiting for that second entry or, triple tests and all these things that Mac teaches. But then, the price is moving. People are buying and selling constantly, and you're watching moves go. And for me, something about the way my brain works, I'd much rather get into a trade on the momentum than necessarily on the pullback, because if you're wrong on the pullback, you're going to get taken out pretty easy. But if you're entering on the momentum, that momentum should drive you to your scalp, your profit target. So, there's all these times watching the charts on max price action trading system where it's like you wonder, like, oh, how can it keep going? Why? And I think this strategy kind of shows me some of those times where it's like, now I see why it's still going, where you don't have an explanation. So, but then I don't get trades that Pats gets. So, every system has its strength, its weakness, and setups are in different places. And there's always reasons for trades based on different people's strategies. So, anyway, I don't know why I'm ranting. I'm just going to pause and wait for setup. I'm also just thinking to myself, I'm so close to payout that I think I think being this close to a payout on this account, and I was even closer on this account before, but I think especially because I'm just so close now, it's like I'm so fearful of making a mistake or having a big setback and having to like grind all over again back. I'm being just so careful with trades that I'm being too careful. So I think that is definitely playing a part of like why I dropped my stop to +1 tick on the very next bar. I mean, it's so unusual that I do that. Thinking it already gone 7 ticks and just wanting to play defense against something bad happening and taking a loss after that. And, if I had let that go, it would have gave me 6 or 8 ticks. I'd be virtually one trade away from qualifying for a payout. So, it's interesting how that works, where you're trying to protect for something to like make something happen, but yet it's actually hurting you because you're acting out of fear. So, you kind of have to learn to trade with no fear. But once you've lost enough or been at it long enough and you're near a goal, it's hard to not let fear, kind of play a part. So that's, I think, my current struggle right now, just where I'm at. I really just want to pay out to feel like I've accomplished something. I've been trading, I don't know if I've said it on YouTube, but I've been trading Apex since the end of March. So 21 evaluations and 5 PAs. I got my first PA, number 1 here. I think it was around July. So we're nearing the end of October, no payout yet. Started the end of March, like the last week of March. So yeah, it's just important to me to reach this goal of a payout, just to feel like, okay, I'm getting somewhere, I've accomplished something. Now I wasn't trading the strategy that whole time. I didn't start trading the strategy on Apex until 6 weeks ago. So my progression has really been much better in the last 6 weeks. I'm doing better than I ever have in terms of consistency. 86% overall in the 6 weeks, 88% in the past 7 weeks. So, I'm getting there, but there's definitely battles. Even after you find a strategy, there's still battles to overcome to really make this a viable profit-making experience. Okay, I'm done ranting again. Let's get back to looking for a trade. I'm just looking at the bigger picture again, and I'm kind of thinking like from the top, maybe there's something to this if it's going to be a really down day. We're already 1% down for the day. I mean, maybe we're headed to a really interesting number of 4,200 there. So it's something to just keep in mind. If we continue to work down, it's entirely possible. Bars are stacking up here. I have a BT. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. bars side by side. I'm not sure I want to take an LO in this situation. This is something that I'm trying to keep my eye on as far as LOs.
Order submitted.
So I'm going to get my order ready just in case, as I do have the BT here for the LO to be the bear bar next. It looks like it's already pulling back too much for it to become a LO, potentially. I mean, the stop would be rather large, 36, probably be about a 10-point stop. All right, it's already, now this bar is a BT too, so which just means it's touching my indicator. So it would have to close back down and give another bearish bar after that. That's an LO. And we're very near the lows of the day here, so very sideways. It's funny how my LO is my first setup on the strategy. I was so confident in it. I mean, the first week I took a 7-0 before I was on YouTube. And that 7-0 week made me think like, oh, I should be documenting this on YouTube. You know, it's working so well. That was the only setup I had, one setup LO. And I would take them with very little rules. It just required what I call a BT, which is a touch on the indicator, and then a bar that's not touching. And I would enter every single one. And I was just winning every single one of them for a while. And then all of a sudden I started, I took a loss, I made a rule, I took a loss, I made a rule, I took a loss, I made a rule. And now I've made so many rules that, I don't know, maybe I've created too many rules for it. And maybe it's just simpler than what I'm currently doing with it. As you can see, I'm still 80% on it. 16 wins out of 20 trades, 4 losses. So it's definitely not like a bad setup. Like right now, for instance, this bar is an LO, or this bar is a BT. All these bars are BT. This bar is a BT. This bar is a BT. This bar is a BT. Look how this is still a BT. It's still touching. So it would require another bearish bar all the way down here to enter. And I'm not going to be comfortable entering down there.
Order canceled.
And this might just end up being an inside bar anyway. But we've just reached the low again. So we've got a retest of the low. So it's already kind of a sketchy area. It's just funny, and then you create a new setup like the OJ here. And, I've only been testing that for a couple weeks on playback and whatnot and sim. And I've taken 5 trades only, but I'm so confident in it. It's like, even despite the fact that I got out earlier today, and only took 1 tick on it. They just work. The PB, I finally got a first loss on it. 12 trades, it just works. So I'm very confident in those. I see them set up and the parameters are in place. I really don't do much thinking about it anymore. I just take it. But LO has me kind of thinking extra about whether I should take it or not. So I definitely need to just keep testing with it. I got find time to keep doing playback. I haven't been doing it at night, only weekends. I think I need to try to get back to doing some at night to just further ingrain what needs to be the rules and what not. Maybe it's just the simplicity of what I originally designed it as, which is just a lift off of the indicator without rules like if there's 5 bar stacking before it. Anyway, that's it for now. Let's see if we get any setups. This thing's just wanting to sell off, it looks like. All right, this might be a LO.
Order submitted.
Pretty bearish bar. If it goes 2 ticks below. Now the thing is, my stop would have to be at 36, 13 points. So there it goes. Is it worth 13-point risk? See, this is one of those things that my mind grapples with. And it's like I don't want to enter and risk 13 points, but it's going to work. And when I designed this, I just always thought to myself, well, there's no need to be concerned about where the stop is because it just works so well. Look at this. 2350, 2250. So now I'm not entering trades out of fear of the big stop, which is, sorry, but this strategy, that's the way it is. You have to accept it or not take it. And so I should be in right here for 2350 where price is at. It hasn't gone yet. It's only gone 5 ticks. But I just don't want to put my stop so high. So I'm skipping this one, even though everything looks right about it to me.
Order canceled.
We'll see what happens. So this is part of the experiment too, is, even if I don't take it, if I see it and I don't take it, I want to see if it works or not. And now in max price action trading system, if the signal bar is too big, in max paths, you skip a trade if you don't want to take on that risk. And so this is a situation where I'm skipping a trade that I don't want to take on the risk. My stop legitimately should be here, according to the indicator. There's an argument to be made. You could put it here. But one of those two spots. So, I suppose, now that I'm looking at it too, in hindsight, I suppose you could make an argument that you could put the stop here. And that's the one problem with the LO, because it gets so far away. Which one's the right one? Well, if there was an LO that sets up now, I would say that this one would be the right one. But when it's set up here, I would say this one or this one is the right one. So there's a little bit of subjectivity to where you put the stop based on the indicator. And just watching this, it's entirely possible that another LO will set up here. No, doesn't look like it. So I don't know. I think I probably did the right thing by skipping this, just because I definitely don't want to risk a 13-point stop. This is like 4 points less. So a 9-point stop is, for this strategy, more reasonable to consider risking. And this is another, a few points less than that. So this would be the most reasonable stop. But look at this. It looks like maybe this isn't going to work. Although we've seen pullbacks like this before on my setups, and they still end up working at the end of the day. So here, actually, let's see how this bar finishes. Now, if we get another LO over here, I might be more willing to take it, because then the stop is just right here. So I'm going to get my order ready,
Order submitted.
just in case. My stop could be at about 30. This bar wasn't a good finish to have another LO set up here. moving pretty slow again right now. I mean, we had more than a measured move of this leg down. So now we are considering that bigger leg down as being the target. At least that's what I'm thinking is possible. It looks like it's wanting to work down. And ultimately, it'll probably make this LO work. Let's see. I would have been in at 2350. We're right now at the entry point again, 2350. I mean, it's looking like it's going to work, right? There's no other setup here.
Order canceled.
This definitely looks like it's on its way to working. So I need it to get to 2150 for this one to have worked. All right, I'll just pause and see. It's taking a long time. I don't want to make this recording super long if it doesn't have to be. I'll just come back and we'll see if it wins or loses. All right, so just looking at this, if I was in this trade and if I put my stop here, I would have just been hit. If I put it where it belongs, we're still in the trade. If I put it in the secondary place where you could argue it belongs, we're still in the trade. But honestly, where this is now in position on my indicator, this is definitely an area I do not want to be in. I mean, it looks like it absolutely will reach this, and I wouldn't be surprised if it reached this, the way it just looks visually. So I'm going to continue to track and see if all of these get taken out, and it would have been a loss. Because if this would have been a loss, I don't have a rule for what could keep me out. Maybe it's not bearish enough. Yeah. Maybe you argue it's not bearish enough, but that's a bearish candle. So I don't think I could say it's not bearish enough. It's not, definitely not a doji. So yeah, it's interesting. But look, it's going down. So if you know, I was saying this is really where my stop belongs, the big one. So if this goes all the way back down, then, you know, even though there's a major pullback, the LO setup, according to the rules of how you're supposed to put your stop, would have worked despite the drawdown. So I'm going to pause. We'll let it play out and see what happens. All right, so super close to the secondary stop position. I mean, it definitely, to me, looks and feels like it may very well go up here and even up here. If we do a measured lag, it makes sense that it would. Makes sense that it would at least hit the secondary one. Looks like it might go for it now. This is a no trade area for me regardless. I'm just waiting and tracking to see if this would have worked or not. So far, I think if you saw this and you're like, okay, let's reduce risk, then you would have been taken out here. So, which is at least, let's see, 30. The entry would have been 2350. So yeah, if you had your stop here, you have lost about 6.5 points already. You know, if you lose here, I'm talking about another maybe 9.5 points total. There might be a OJ about to set up, actually.
Order submitted.
Be ready for this. I need it to close down here for it to trigger. It's not going to be low enough. No. I'll stay ready just in case it closes down here and still qualifies. I'm not sure it will, but Just be ready for it. Because if it doesn't reach the measured move and triggers the OJ, then I think that would be safe to take. The way it's looking, it doesn't look like it's going to want to form an OJ. I've got my order ready on the other chart just in case in position. In case it drops down here, if I get the signal. My stop would go at around 32 on an OJ up here. Again, just looking for a close down here. Doesn't look like it's happening here. Or did I speak too soon? Let's see what this does. No, not an OJ, not low enough. And I think no matter where this next bar closes, it won't matter. I think if this one closes lower, it still doesn't qualify at this point. I never know until the bar closes, so I'm going to be ready for it just in case, but I'm pretty sure, I think it's not going to be, but if it is, I'll be ready to take it. Looks like it's going the other way anyway. Yeah.
Order canceled.
All right. So man, if you're in this LO and you're stuck in this really would suck. 9, 10, I mean, talking about 30 minutes almost. 25 minutes. So I'm definitely happy I skipped this. And maybe that's the rule. I mean, maybe when the stop has to go so far away, it's so far away from that part of the indicator that maybe the sign is like, hey, it really just needs to come back up closer before, and so you can't take that. So maybe that'll turn into a white version, but right now it fits the current rules, so I didn't take it, but who knows, maybe it even still works as long as you don't have your stop here. Okay, I'm going to pause and see what happens. Or actually, can this still be an, I don't think this can be an OJ anymore. I think because of these bars, cancels it out. Just going to wait for the close of this bar. Let's see. Man, an hour recording already, and it's only 9:37. The longer one.
Order submitted.
Just in case. I don't think this qualifies. No, doesn't qualify.
Order canceled.
I'm going to pause here, look for a setup. All right, and so finally, after a half hour, if you manage to keep your stop at one of the higher two safer levels, really big stops, you would have eventually got the scalp here off this LO. But I mean, quite frankly, the LO is literally supposed to be a momentum trade play. So the fact that you had a major 2-leg pullback after the entry just shows that this can't be a good entry. Yet I don't have a rule to keep me out of this necessarily. To me, I stayed out of this just based on some intuition, I suppose. It was already two legs down this way. If I measure from here, we're already well beyond 2 legs down that way. And we were right into the lows of the day. You don't know if it's just retesting the lows before it bounces back up, which is essentially what it kind of tried to do. So I stayed out just to be safe. And the bigger reason, because I didn't want to put my stop 13 points away. I think I'm going to have a rule that my stop has to be able to go in a certain area, not beyond 8 points maybe, or 9 points, or maybe 10 points maximum. If you're getting up to 13 points, it's way beyond. I mean, even 10 points is a 5-to-1 risk reward. I'd rather it be more close to 4-to-1, kind of in the 8 to 9 point range tops. But it's also really hard when price is moving fast to really calculate and see, okay, it's hard to look and see where you would put your stop when you're looking to see on the bar close whether it's even a trade or not. So, there's some complications to the strategy, just like any other. Having said all that, if you put your stop in the right place, you get your scalp eventually. It's just ugly. It's ugly. You'd have to sit there for a half an hour with it working against you virtually. I mean, yeah, immediately after you enter, it's just working against you the whole time until this. So, not really sure what to think about it, but it's just something I have to consider and test more and think about. What I would say is I did the right thing. I didn't enter. It's not worth the risk, and it really made a serious attempt to, and there's definitely a strong argument that it belonged here. So, based on the indicator. So you would have just barely been saved, but man, it would have felt like you were going to get taken out there. And this one was pretty safe, but man, even when price is here, you're feeling the heat of taking such a huge loss. 13 trades to make up one doesn't seem like a great deal. So that's definitely a flaw of my system, is just large stops on setups. They're at least 3-to-1, 4-to-1 most of the time, if not virtually all the time, and bigger. So let's see if we get a better setup in a better position with a smaller stop that looks more appealing to take. All right, I'm pausing here. Let's see if we can get one. Looking at this is an LO. Just so timid to take them.
Order submitted.
It's only gone 1 tick so far. Stop wouldn't be bad. 19. Be about 6.5 point stop. It just triggered. I'm just so hesitant on LO now. I just have like some kind of mental block. It's funny. Still got my order ready just in case. And then there's something about it I don't love. Again, it's like, I think with my latest rules, it would be a white LO. But I'm struggling to think that maybe my white LO rules are too strict. And if I take these, they should win more than they should lose. Looks like it's going to work. My entry would be 19. It's at 1775, the low. Just not feeling aggressive with the LO right now, which is bad. You know, you need to have confidence in it. So I just need to take more of them on playback, keep testing them. I mean, right now I could get in again. It hasn't gone 7 ticks yet. But I'm just not feeling comfortable on the LO right now. It's a real hang up I'm having. And it's probably going to work. There it goes. If it hits 17, it's gone to 1750 so far. It's only gone 6 ticks so far. And technically speaking, I could still get in if it came back, but just not feeling confident. I'm so sure it's going to work, right? We've got a measured move down we're still waiting for. All the way at 4,200. I mean, it's too late to enter now. I'm not going to enter now. It's gone 6 ticks. It's fighting to stay up. I could have just got in right now. It would have touched an order to enter. Again, 6 ticks. I really just need to do more playback on LO and get more confident with it again. I don't know why. I think I have 4 losses with it, and I think it's like not reliable. And maybe I'm, if it's only an 80% trade, I don't know that I want to take 80% trades. I want to take 90% trades, which I definitely have so far with PB and OJ. So if I'm finding that LO is only 80%, ultimately, I got to really consider whether LO is good enough. And that's part of me recording this experience, recording my live sessions, recording my reviews, and the whole journey, because I'm going to take my order off.
Canceled.
Yeah. That's what this whole thing is about. So I'm just going to say it's a white. I think it's a white trade. According to my current rules, it's white. I'm going to say hello, skipped. Just so that I have a record of what the setups of the day were, what I could have taken, whether they worked or didn't work. Just needs to go 2 ticks below these lows for it to have worked. And again, just the stop would have been right above this. Looks like it's going to work right now. 1. Let's see. Needs one more tick lower to reach the 8 ticks and guarantee my win. It's currently at 7 ticks. So knowing me, I'd put my stop at +1 right now. And it would just hit it. So if I was in this trade, I definitely would have got taken out at +1 at this point, because it hit the 7 tick. And I try to play it safe like that most of the time, especially when I'm feeling unsure about a trade, which I'm unsure of the trade and I'm not even in it. So I definitely would have felt unsure there. Let's see if it goes down to the 8th tick now. My setup earlier today, where I took 1 tick, was a way better setup than this. And I still took 1 tick. So right, this is taking a long time. I'm just going to pause and then come back when it does something. All right, and so finally here it would have hit the 8th tick. So if it didn't move the stop to break even +1 here, would have got, looks like 6 ticks here according to my strategy. So it would have worked ultimately. Again, another one that, you know, you're playing momentum and it just struggles to get there and then eventually works. You know, I don't know if it's just the kind of day it is that it just keeps kind of doing this thing where it's makes a move and goes sideways, makes a move, goes sideways, makes a move, goes sideways, makes a move sideways. Yesterday it was doing the same thing. It's just kind of grinding down in a direction, but it's not going, you know, strong like it did early in the day. I mean, this thing, you know, market opened just straight down virtually, you know, until it finally went sideways after my trade. So I don't know. I think it's just a little bit difficult price action today. A little bit of hesitancy on my part to take setups, especially because, you know, you're seeing this. It's kind of similar. It's not as deep of a pullback, but it's very similar look to it. The whole setup is very similar, and then the aftermath. So, you know, trying to keep my days not stressful. So I gotta just be okay with this and just look for a really great setup. That's what I want. Just nice, easy, great setups that work simply. And anything that makes me think too hard, I shouldn't take. So I think, wow, this is really selling off, and it's really just going for this measured move that I made earlier, right at 4,200. Is there anything at 4,200 recently? A little lower or a little higher was a previous day low, right around where we're at now from 2 days ago. So but I got no setups right now. I'm gonna pause. This is gonna be the longest live trading session video I've posted yet. It's only 10. We've got 2 hours left today, so I'm gonna try to keep it more concise the rest of the day. Recording late here. This actually would have been an OJ. It only went 1 tick below. I wasn't expecting it. Do have a measured move in place here and this measured move from the larger one. But luckily it didn't even trigger anyway, so it's not something I could have taken. It was after 2 legs up. I was kind of looking away for a second. But if this did trigger, I would have definitely tried to get in it right there at the last second, right when I hit record. All right, let's see if something else happens. All right, market's starting to pick up some speed again. I readjusted my 2 measured legs since this was already reached. Maybe it was 1 bigger leg for a second bigger leg. But I'm also watching to see if this closes on the low side. Maybe it's another OJ.
Order submitted.
I'm just going to get my order ready just in case. We would need to close kind of down here again. Doesn't look like it's going to happen here. Now on the flip side, if it comes up here, it might turn into a PB. And actually,
order
that's kind of
canceled.
what I'm starting to think is more likely is it's coming up to finish this leg. It's got some ways to go though. It would need to be virtually at the measured move to get into PB territory. It's funny, it's like a few bars, the market picks up the velocity up, and then a few bars, it slows down.
Order submitted.
Maybe another OJ possibility to the low side down here. See if it triggers. Nope, it didn't close low enough. Needed the close to be a little bit lower for it to
order canceled.
apply. I wonder another case where maybe if it closes lower still,
Order
it could still
submitted.
potentially be an OJ. I'll be ready just in case. The stop would go above the previous high swing. Not sure that this would qualify, but I'll know on the close of the candle. We do still have measured legs to the bottom that we were looking for. Okay, this is an OJ, but it's pretty borderline. This is a white OJ. I don't have experience with white OJs. Usually they're pretty obvious. Let's see if it even triggers. Looks like it's not even going to trigger. Needed to go 2 ticks below this bar. And it wasn't a bearish enough bar. Okay.
Order canceled.
It still comes down. I mean, to me, this is a white OJ just because it's got a lot of wick on the bottom, and the fact that this bar came up above before it ticked under just makes it not fit kind of what those usually look like. It looks like it's just not even going to trigger anyway, so it doesn't matter at this point. If it doesn't trigger on the next bar, I don't take these trades. So just in wait mode again to see if something else sets up. And it's entirely still possible that a PB somewhere up here could happen. Although, I mean, I'm still favoring the measured moves to the low side. So to me, those are the targets. Near term target, a little further term target. And the fact that it didn't reach this measured move on this bigger leg makes me also think it's going in the other direction now. So let's see. All right, we basically hit this first measured move target, 1 tick off. Still have the bigger one from the top to hit at 4,200. Still no setups in this down move, and waiting. All right, recording this here. Might have it
Order submitted.
If we have a bearish bar here, I've got 2 measured legs. I'm still looking to reach. The stop would be at 1525. So it's going to be about a 10-point stop or so. See if we get a bearish bar and then 2 ticks under it. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, or will it? Bearish bar. Not a bearish bar. Doji.
Order canceled.
Pause again, see if we get anything. All right, I'm watching to see if we get a bearish bar here. I got my BT here. So this
Order
could be an
submitted.
LO trade potentially. Still have another bigger measured move down to the 4,200. Stop would be above this bar here. 4,211. It's a bearish bar. How do I feel about this LO if it triggers? Needs 1 more tick. Unsure. We're right at this measured move. Are we going to make the next measured move? It makes sense to go to the round number 4,200. But right now it hasn't even given me a second tick. So maybe it's going to do me a favor and tell me not to enter this trade. It's coming back. I mean, not feeling confident, but okay. So there's no trade here. No trade. It went above my signal bar. And it didn't go 2 ticks below it, so no trigger. Which means sit on my hands. And that's how today's been, really. I mean, got this one trade here. And I mean, look at this. It's just all down and sideways, up sideways, down sideways, down sideways. But just not giving me setups. 2 LOs that I skipped. Didn't feel good about either one of them. Both suffered major pullbacks before they eventually would have worked. I'm going to set up another LO right now. I'm going to cancel this order.
Order canceled.
I mean, it's still possible another one sets up somewhere here, but we've got this measured move that it seems to have reached this leg, reached it perfectly. It seems to be bouncing a little bit. And we've got one more measured move that's not too far down from there. So, I mean, the fact that it even got this close to this big measured move, to me, it's like already, even if it doesn't hit it, it's already hit as far as I'm concerned. It's close enough. But I would think price will reach the 4,200 just because it's that round number. Let's see what's happening here. I mean, it is possible if we got a bearish bar here, that could be an LO again. The stop would be much tighter. The stop could be like over this swing. 0875 or so. I can get my order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
If it retraces up anymore, it won't be a LO. It might still not be an LO. I'll have to see on the close of the bar. Okay, with that push up, looks like it's not going to happen. Yeah.
Order canceled.
Right, sit on my hands again. Another kind of frustrating day. The week has been like that. Last week kind of felt that way to me. Just try to stay focused. Gonna go for another hour or so. And maybe just around 12, slightly after, depending on this. Getting pretty worn out because there's been a lot of close calls today. You know, really trying to focus and then it not creating a setup. So getting pretty worn out by today. I think I have about an hour left in me tops. We'll see. And I'm going to record here again. If we get a close down here, we might be looking at another OJ.
Order submitted.
If it triggers this time. Stop will be around 1375. So not too bad if this sets up with a close down here. ready with it, with my order. Seems like it's not happening. It doesn't look like it's going to happen right here. Or was that a fake out? Now it will. A difficult day. Just difficult for my strategy to find something that, or, to find setups that really set up in a great way, in a really objective, clear way. And, you can tell from the length of my recording today, an hour and 26 minutes, I've got one trade that I took in the first 10 minutes I was in the market. And somehow I've recorded this much from all the times I'm trying to potentially take a trade, or seeing if a trade worked or doesn't work, or talking about my struggles with psychology right now. I'm still waiting to see if this closes down here, if it might set up an OJ. Just keeps seeming like it's not going to. All right, I'm going to see if this triggers an OJ. Needs to be a little bit lower. Lower. No, not low enough. Needed another couple ticks. Not sure if it will look right according to the rule. If it closes lower now, I'm still going to be ready just in case. If the indicator shows that it would be good for it, then I'll take it. What's nice is it wouldn't be too big of a stop right now. So again, I'm just waiting to see if we get it closed down here, and then seeing if it qualifies as the OJ. Doesn't look like I'm getting no OJ right now. All right.
Order canceled.
Yeah, if this is how I end the day, I guess it's better than a loss, right? So just got to keep that in mind. Any kind of green or any kind of white is better than red. Always. All right. That's, the funny thing too is this might be a situation where we're looking for a second leg up. And I can see a scenario where a PB can set up here, maybe for the measured move. I'm going to pause and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm watching this again to see if we close down here. Still thinking it is possible that this is OJ if it closes below. This is the hard part about recording for YouTube, is just
order submitted.
keep recording and then nothing happens. I guess it'd be the same if I was doing a stream. Most of the day there'd just be nothing going on. At least I'm cutting out the parts where I'm not recording this way. All right, so it's again not closing down here. It feels like it's kind of
order canceled.
Feels like it's past the point of being able to set up the OJ even with this consolidation here. But I'm just trying to always be ready for it. I'm going to pause and we'll see. Okay. Again, thinking possible
Order
OJ.
submitted.
See if it gets there and qualifies. This is OJ. I'll take this.
Order filled.
Let's see if this works. Looks good. Spoke too soon? Did I speak too soon? Oh man, we're gonna get taken out here. First loss on OJ.
Order filled.
Bummer. What a bummer. All right, well, everything looked good there. Everything was in place. I've been waiting for it to trigger. And that's the first time I've really seen it lose that I can remember. Just a hard day. But I followed my rules. The setup was there. And what can you do? Gotta take it. So it looks like I lost 3.75 points. This may be a PB, which
Order
is the other way I was
submitted.
thinking it might go earlier. Let me see if this triggers. Triggered.
Order submitted.
All right, stop goes down here. So maybe I'll make it back, or maybe I'm entering too fast. Who knows? The rules all apply here. This is a good PB. And it should work according to my rules. Didn't work on the OJ, but it should work on the PB. Let's see. And if I get taken out on both sides, that's going to be really frustrating. But again, this setup is there. Everything's there for it. I have the measured move. Should work. I'm really surprised the OJ didn't work. I'd be shocked if this PB didn't work. Following my rules. Hopefully it'll give me my 8 ticks, full 8 ticks. Since I took that loss, I need the full 8. Still hasn't gone 7 ticks, so I'm not moving my stop yet. Wow. Really? Here we go. All the way. I want the full 8. One more tick. And now it's gone 7, so now I gotta be careful. Now the judgment call whether I move my stop. I'm going to. I'm not taking another
Order
loss.
filled.
Dang. It's really frustrating. Now it's going to work, right? Well, again, just following my rules. So I got to remember this doesn't kill me. All of my accounts are fine. It's just a setback. It's really close. The most important thing is my PAs are in fine shape, plenty of room for the drill down. Just disappointing. Just disappointing. So PB plus 1 tick. It's not even a scalp, it's just plus 1 tick. Look, that's gonna work after all, but I just can't risk two losses in a row. Following my rules, it went 7 ticks, and I got to put the stop where it belongs, according to my rule. So that's a bummer. Let me reset the stats over here. And like I was saying earlier, it would have felt better to win with the slight green than a loss. But I mean, when you see a setup that fits your rules, the edges, you have to take the setup. And no setup, no strategy is going to be perfect. So I gotta just accept the loss. And of course, this is going to go and now work for the 8 ticks that I really wanted. I could have been stubborn here and say, no, I have to get my 8 ticks. But for all I know, that's the time it goes all the way down and takes me out. All right, there it goes. Would have worked. Of course it would have worked. All right. Frustrating day. Frustrating couple of weeks. But this is trading, right? All right, let me adjust the stats here and I'll come back. All right, so I'm back. So you can see my stats are now 33 wins, 6 losses. On OJ, it's now 5-1. And on the PB, it's now 12-1. So would have worked for the full 8 tick scalp, it looks like. Let's see, my entry was 1450. And the high here, 17. So yeah, definitely would have been good for 6 or 8 tick scalp if I didn't move my stop to break even plus 1. So I've got both my wins today, just plus 1 tick on both of them for the same reason, similar reasons. But this one was my rule. It went to 7 ticks and then it reversed. And unfortunately, that is the rule I have to, that I have in place for my strategy. And even though it would have worked, I have seen these shoot back down the other way, which is why I've invoked this rule, especially on PB, actually. So it's unfortunate that we got our first loss on an OJ, which is unusual according to my testing. But like I said before, nothing, no strategy, no setup is ever going to be 100% forever. It's just impossible. So took the loss there. Accept the loss. Don't move the stop. Just accept it, take it, and move on. Was excited and happy to see a great PB setup right behind it in the other direction with a measure move that I'd already measured in place. In fact, it should move here. So look at that. 2 legs down, 1 leg up, second leg up, hit it to the tick. So perhaps that's why I should have, perhaps in the future when I have these measured moves already lined up, maybe that's a reason to not take it. It's going opposite of the direction of my expectation. But I did still have this measured move down here, which is a possibility. So, it is what it is. I'll see if there was anything about it that I can learn from to avoid it if possible. But according to my current rules, it was a perfect setup. So there you go. Disappointing, but everything's still in fine shape. I'm just, I'm having a little bit of a step back considering I was 2 trades away from a payout. And now I'm further behind. One contract per trade means I'm like 6 trades away now. So I'll be back. All right. Watching
Order
this for
submitted.
a possible PB down here. Not sure everything will be in place for it, but just want to have an order ready just in case. No, doesn't fit my rules. It would be a white PB.
Order canceled.
Which I'm not going to take at this point, whether it works or not. I'll pause here. Just recording here to see if this is a secondary PB.
Order submitted.
Just in case. I don't think this really will qualify, but just in case my indicator gives me the green light on it, I'll be ready. Still waiting for another one of my conditions to be in place before this could trigger, and it has to trigger at the bottom there. Or it has to close at the bottom and get triggered. No. Good close, but just doesn't satisfy all the rules.
Order canceled.
No trade here. All right, watching this for a potential LO.
Order submitted.
If we get a bearish bar here, I'd probably be inclined to take it. If it is indeed a LO fitting the rules. It's going down kind of further than I was hoping. It looks like we're going to have some momentum to reach that big measured move down to 4,200. So if it fits the rules, I think I'll take it. Going into the low of day. It doesn't still touch on this bar. So no LO yet. It's possible that this bar will be an LO and be a little bit of a judgment call since we're going into the lows of day. Just watching this bar, it doesn't look like it's going to form. Need to be a bearish bar that's not an inside bar. And if it retraces up anymore, it's going to be too high and going to touch again. It's a little disappointing to see all this red today, but I got to remember this is just this is really a small red day. It doesn't hurt my accounts. Everything's in fine shape as far as the trailing drawn down. So it's just delaying a payout, unfortunately, or delaying a path to a payout. This can be an inside bar. So I don't take any trades on inside bars.
Order canceled.
According to my rules. So no trade here. Just going to see here if maybe a measured move down has been reached. Something like that. Well, that's definitely been reached, right? If you put it there. Not quite yet. Seems like one leg down, maybe two legs down. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Which puts it near the big one that I was expecting. All right. Well, I'm just moving on from the loss. It would take 2 wins to erase the loss, which ironically, I do have 2 wins today. This one and an OJ at the very beginning of the day, but I only managed to get 1 tick instead of 6 or 8. So if I had gotten the 8 ticks on both of those, I'd be right at break even for the day. Totally flat. But it is what it is. All right, it looks like we're bouncing up. So maybe the first measured move that I had done makes more sense in this case. Again, these aren't necessarily my strategy, but I'm just looking to use them to help guide me when possible. Very frustrating day. This wrap-up review today will be so much fun. I'll try to keep it short. All right, almost done for the day. It's about 12. I mean, I kind of want to stick around and see if I could get one solid win with a real scalp, but I don't know how much more I have left in me, so we'll see. Try to stick it out for at least a little while longer. All right, well, now I'm looking at this and thinking maybe it's one leg up and another leg up, potentially. And there is a possibility as it's turning against me. There's the possibility that I was thinking there could be a PB up here, but clearly it's now gone the other way. This could be, no, won't fit the rules for a PB, I don't believe. Unfortunately, doesn't fit my rules for a PB. It's a white PB. Yeah, I'm not going to take that. I wouldn't be surprised if this still goes up. Even though I've got this measured move I've been waiting for all day, 4,200. Pause here. All right, I'm still here. It's almost 12:15. I am definitely going to stop soon. It looks like all the juice has been squeezed out of today. Just can't quite get to 4,200. Just staying above and just not giving any setups for my strategy. Give it 5 or 10 more minutes. I'm definitely willing to take another trade because I'd love to make these red numbers get cut in half. But if this is how it ends for the day, could be worse, I suppose. Could be better, could be worse. Considering I had 2 wins today, should have been better, honestly. But no accounts are in danger of hitting the trailing threshold. and we're just a little bit further away from the target, from the goals, but we're not in danger anywhere. So that's the important thing for now. And strategy is still overall. Most people would love to have these numbers for their trading, and still profitable overall in terms of the accounts. Just trying to get to that payout. That's all. I wanted to get to the payout on the last payout period that just ended on the 20th. I want to get to get a payout by the next payout period that's coming up soon. So that's just my own pressure I'm putting on myself. But day's almost over, so let's see. Otherwise, I'll end soon and do the wrap up. Just watching this right here to see.
Order
I don't think it's going to fit
submitted.
the rules, but potential PB closing up here. But it looks like not all the conditions are satisfied to be able to take it, but just going to wait for the close and make sure in case it brings everything into place on the close. No.
Order canceled.
No. Okay. Still waiting. I'll give it another few minutes. Maybe something will happen here. All right. I was just about to wrap it up here. There's one last maybe opportunity for a LO. But honestly, it's 12:30. I'm beat for the day. We already basically hit the measured move. I don't feel like I should take another trade right now. And this very well could just be a range here. Something like that. I'm just really done. I'm okay with accepting this loss today. So that's going to be the end of the live recording session of today's trading, and I'll wrap it up in the other review video, and we'll look forward to a better day tomorrow. Thanks for anyone that's watching out there. Don't forget 90% if you want it, if you need it. You can always use this code or any other code that you might have. And yeah, I'll wrap it up in the other video and figure out what I want to say there. All right, later.